thank you to EA and Respawn for giving me early access to Season 25. I was lucky enough to be part of a playtest where I got to play with the new weapon changes and the new legend changes before Season 25 even dropped. So again, huge thank you to EA and Respawn for this opportunity. As you guys know, I am a Ballistic main, and my content mainly just surrounds that of Ballistic and his kit and things that can help benefit him and how to play him. Well, in Season 25, he actually has 0 buffs or nerfs. This comes as a big shock to even me, who, even though I'm very biased, can identify Ballistic is a little too strong this season. So I'm anticipating him to get nerfed in the mid-season patch, which obviously I will cover on this channel, but that doesn't mean Ballistic will be played exactly the same, because there is going to be a change in the weapon meta. So I'm here to break down the patch notes that we have just got and discuss how they are going to affect Ballistic and give you my rundown for what the best sling weapons may be in Season 25 for Ballistic. So if that interests you, make sure to stick around. I'm going to try and break this down as quick as possible, and yeah, I hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. Firstly, if you want access to the patch notes, I will leave a link in the description so you can go read them yourself, because I'm not going to cover exactly everything, as there are lots of content creators that have been given access to Season 25 that have covered pretty much everything. I really just want to come at it from a Ballistic standpoint, but the one thing that does concern Ballistic is the weapon changes. But before we get into any of the weapon changes, let's just quickly go over what has actually changed with the Assault class, which you guys should know is Ballistic's class. Battle Surge changes, so you no longer get a scan upon getting a shield crack, which is honestly completely fair. That was quite OP, and the health bar now lingers for 3 seconds instead of 4 seconds. And the movement speed boost now only applies if you are sprinting when you get the crack, which I think all these are very fair, and they're not going to change things up too much. First of all, the care package. The bow check is now actually coming out of the care package after being in for literally years, which is insane, and that actually will impact Ballistic quite a bit, which I will get to in a minute. And the Havoc also returns to the floor loot, which I love the Havoc. It isn't exactly the same as it was before, which I will also get into in a moment, but I'm just glad to have it back on the ground because it's one of my favorite guns in the entire game. And the Triple Take is the gun that enters the care package, so this season we will only have 3 care package guns to choose from. And the gold weapon rotation will be the Bow Check, Hemlock, Longbow, Mastiff, and Wingman. The Wingman is crucial there. Now, something that honestly really doesn't affect me as a sniper and marksman player, because I don't really use those guns, is the fact that there is a new stock added, which is the gold sniper stock, usable with all sniper and marksman weapons, where you do not get a movement penalty while you have a gold sniper stock drawn, which is actually quite interesting. I'm interested to see if I'll actually get any benefit of that when I have my ult popped on Ballistic with a sniper in it. It's very rare that that happens, but you never know. Now, the original sniper stocks we did have are now only for marksmans, which now give you improved ADS in and out speeds and improved raise and lower speeds, which again, I don't really use these guns, but this could be interesting if you are a Ballistic main and you like putting a sniper or a more long-range gun in the sling. The boosted loader is now also gone from the loot pool, with the skull piercer taking its place, which can now be put on the 30-30, longbow, and wingman, which is pretty exciting, especially for the wingman, because even though the gun isn't the best, at least it wasn't in the past, the wingman's always been one of my favorites, and I'm really excited to get to use it this season. Also, the gun shield generator goes away for the Devotion and the L-Star, and can now be used for the Hemlock. However, when I went into Season 25 and tried to use it, I didn't actually get a gun shield, even though I could equip it on my gun. I didn't get it when I was in my ult, or when I just equipped it normally, so I'm not sure if that's bugged or what, but apparently we can now put that on our Hemlocks. The Accelerator pop-up is now gone from the P20s, which, thank God, the Vol and the Wingman, and is now been added to the Bow, Devotion, Mastiff, and Sentinel. The Devotion one is huge for Ballistic mains. Now, here is where we finally get to go into the weapons. Now, the Havoc has generally been nerfed since it's come out of the care package, which we all expected, with the damage decrease to 19, which it was 21, the increased hipfire spread, recoil increased, and select fire removed. And when I've actually gone in game and tried to use the Havoc, I can definitely tell these changes are going to affect how the gun is used. I'm still going to run the Havoc because I've loved this gun for years, but it is definitely a shell of its former self. However, it could still be a good sling weapon, but compared to a lot of the other guns that I'm going to mention coming up, it's not even going to crack the top 5. The Hemlock has got some general nerfs, which you can see on the screen now. I'm not the biggest Hemlock user. Generally, everything has just been tweaked up a little bit, which is awesome to see, so we might get some Hemlock gameplay this season. Now, next is the Devotion. Now, this is the biggest one for Ballistic mains. The Devotion is about to become the meta sling weapon this season. It has a new perk where equipping a purple barrel, stock, and mag will give you the turbocharged Devotion, which you can see on screen now. Here is me doing exactly that. And the mag size has also been increased when you have a purple mag to 52 when it was 48. So we get 4 extra bullets, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that is going to be huge. The Devotion getting turbocharged when you have all purple attachments just makes it an insane sling weapon. So if you have a Devo in the sling and you have a purple armor, as you guys know, the sling upgrades with your armor tier, you will actually get a turbocharged Devo in your sling at all times. And then when you pop your ult, that fast reload and all the buffs you get with Ballistic is just going to make you an absolute machine more than you already are. So the Devotion is probably going to be the best sling gun this season by far. Once I get into this season a little bit more, I will do a bit of a tier list, but just from first impressions and being in the firing range, this is going to be huge. Now, the Bocek has quite a lot of changes. The biggest ones are the fact that it now takes sniper ammo and not its own arrows ammo, and it can actually be charged with nades and drop off explosive ammo, which you bet, just like the Rampage and the Sentinel, when you put it in your sling, it comes charged with a frag grenade already in there. So if you're a Bocek enjoyer, the Bocek might be one to put in the sling because you will get explosive bullets, which is insane. I'm not a big Bocek user, but I'm probably going to give this a go. In general, the Bocek has received quite a few nerfs because obviously the care package version was quite strong because it was a care package weapon, but regardless, the Bocek is going to be insane this season. It has decreased fire rate and things like shatter caps removed, but honestly, the fact that we have explosive ammo completely negates all of these things. Next, the P20s have received a nerf, I suppose. They've decreased the damage to 24 when it was 25. They've reduced the magazine sizes, which as you can see on screen now, they are the changes they've made, and that's it. I think the P20 is still going to be meta next season, I'm not gonna lie. They might not be as good, but I think they're still going to be very good. But here is one of the main events. The next 2 guns I'm about to mention are going to be insane. The Wingman has a slightly increased rate of fire, and it has added laser sights, which means the hip fire spread is going to be improved with the Wingman if you have a laser sight, and it shoots, I'm not gonna lie, similar to that of the OG Wingman from pre-season, which as an OG player feels incredible. I think this is going to be one of the guns this season, I'm not gonna lie. That could be a bad take from me, but I'm telling you now, the Wingman is going to be a go-to gun in general, but in particular the sling. Especially when you get to purple attachments, you will have the laser sight, you will have the fast reload if you crack someone. You know, you don't even have to be an ult for this Wingman to be incredibly good in the sling. I am so excited to use this, I can't lie. Next up is the Eva A as well. Now, it has been slightly nerfed, but also slightly buffed in some ways. It has greatly had a big increase in its fire rate for all bolt tiers, but the damage has been reduced to 6 when it was formerly 8. Now, I've used this in the firing range, and it is definitely not as good at distances because of the damage reduction, but it is even stronger close range. So they've essentially just made the Eva A just a stronger secondary weapon, and I don't know how to feel about that. It was a bit too strong last season, so I think especially when you get close range, the Eva's going to be a problem. But for Ballistic mains, especially with the fact that we have our sling upgrade without armor, the Eva 8 could also be a go-to sling weapon, especially if you are an aggressive Ballistic player who likes to push with your ult. Now, in general, all SMGs have sort of been buffed with increased headshot damage, but the Volt in particular has had its hip fire also changed to be more like other SMGs, and I can definitely tell it is going to be a very, very good weapon all round, but it could be a good SMG for the sling. SMGs have always been incredible in the sling, so the Volt might just be a given now for all Ballistic mains. Now, we have some sniper changes, which I will leave on screen now, but I don't really use snipers, so I'm not going to talk about them too much. Next is the L-Star as well. I forgot to cover this, but it has increased vertical and horizontal movement in the recoil pattern, and the projectiles are now significantly smaller. Not gonna lie, I still really enjoy the L-Star. If anything, I actually weirdly prefer this. When I was using this in the firing range, it actually felt better to me, and the L-Star has been a go-to sling weapon for me for the last season, so I honestly can't see that changing. But to kind of round up all the weapon changes, I'm going to give you my top 3 sling weapons for season 25, which will be the Devotion, the Rampage, as the Rampage is probably the best gun in the sling in the current version of Apex, which is Season 24, and that has been completely unchanged this season, so that is definitely number 2. And then number 3, honestly, is very up to you. I'm personally going to say the Wingman, but the Eva honestly could be very close. A lot of you are probably going to say that the P20s or the Bocek could be in 3rd place, but from my personal experience, having played this season, the Devo, Rampage, and the Wingman are going to be my current top 3. And it's a given that most SMGs in the game are very viable in the sling as well, and probably the P20s, as they've not really received too much of a major nerf, but they are my current top 3 right now. I'm going to definitely use the Havoc in this sling, but I do not think it's going to be anywhere nearly as good. But yeah, I think this season is going to be an interesting one, as we have a mix of changes, but we also don't have the changes we expected. We expected some nerfs to especially Ballistic's Tactical, some Ash nerfs, some Alter nerfs, and we haven't gotten any of those things. I'm assuming we are going to get these in the mid-season patch notes, but I honestly don't know. It's probably a safe bet to assume, but yeah, this is honestly going to be very similar to last season, at least for the first half, with most legends not really being changed too much. But for Ballistic mains, I just think if you're not going to run a Devo in the sling, you're kind of throwing, I'll be very honest. But it does always come down to personal preferences, but I think if you're not running a Devo or a Rampage, and then either the Eva or the Wingman, you could be throwing. The hipfire for the Wingman this season is nuts. You're trying to get up close and personal, the Wingman actually is going to be a very good hipfire gun now. From long range to medium range to close range, the Wingman is actually going to excel in all of them, I think, so you could be sleeping on it if you're not using it this season. But I will make more videos like this as the season goes on, because my opinions could change, as I have only just played a playtest for a few hours, but these are my opinions, and they are some of the changes that are going to affect Ballistic directly. I appreciate everyone for watching this video. Sorry if you came to this video expecting it to be a more broad overview of all the changes, but I'm really just discussing the things that relate to Ballistic, as that's what we're all here for on this channel. Thank you everybody for watching. I can't wait to get started in Season 25. The grind is going to be fun. Expect a lot of content coming up soon, and yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.